Hello students, today we're doing lesson 4.4 solving integer equations with addition and subtraction. Usually when we're doing, if you're watching this video, it means you were absent, maybe even you're just going back to remember how to do things, and I tell you to take notes. Well, today I'm asking you, telling you do not have to write the two things that are up there right now. That should be on your lesson from the last time you were in class. So I'm just putting them on here as a review. So remember for your addition rules, right? Oh, sorry, that messed up. I still have it on eraser. Okay, so your addition rules are, if the signs are the same, you're going to add and use the same sign. If your signs are different, you're going to subtract and use the sign of the bigger number. Okay, so let me show you two examples for that. If I had -4 plus -5, that would equal -9. So I add it because my signs were the same, and then I use the same sign, which is negative. If I had 4 plus -5, now my signs are different. One's positive, one's negative. So I'm going to subtract, so I get 1, and I'm going to use the sign of the bigger number. 5 is bigger than 4, so I put a negative there. On my subtraction rules, if I had something like -3 minus a -5, and sometimes the book puts those negatives in parentheses just so that you know it's negative. And so what are we going to do? We're going to change the minus to a plus. And second, we're going to change the second number to its opposite. So -5 becomes +5. And now we just go back and follow the addition rules. The addition rules say my signs are different. I subtract. I use the sign of the bigger number. So 5 is bigger than 3, so this is going to stay positive. So my answer is 2. Okay, that was just a quick review over the rules of integers. So now let's go and do example 1. Example 1 is x plus 23 equals 12. Okay, so here, y'all have done problems like this already. That was in our last chapter. And so we're going to solve this by getting rid of this plus 23. And the way we do that is by subtracting 23. If we subtract 23, that gives us 0 here. But we can't just subtract 23 on one side of the equation. We have to do it on both sides of the equation. So when I do that, now this is 0, and I only have x left on this side. And over here, I have 12 minus 23. So how do I do that? 12 minus 23? Well, some of y'all might look at it and say, oh, that's 11. No, that's not 11. If I have 12 So if I have 12 minus 23, then, hold on. If I have 12 minus 23, okay, you might have been told in the past that you can't subtract a smaller number or a bigger number from a smaller number. So your big number should always go first. But now that you know integers and how to do negative numbers, you absolutely can have a bigger number at the end of a subtraction problem. So I'm just going to rewrite this a little bit bigger. So if I have a problem like this, I just go back up here and use my subtraction rules. So my subtraction rules say to change my minus to a plus and the second number to its opposite. So now that I've done that, 12 plus -23, I follow my addition rules up here. So my addition rules say if the signs are different, I subtract. When I subtract those, I get 11. And I use the sign of the bigger number. 23 is bigger, so this is going to be negative. So my answer is x equals -11. Okay, let's do another one. Example 2. We only have 3 examples because we have already done this. We've already solved problems like this. We've already done integers, So now we're just putting those two together. So here's my example 2. Y minus -7, and the book always puts the -7s in parentheses if they're right next to a minus sign so that it doesn't look like it says minus minus. Okay, equals -18. So don't be surprised by having that that parentheses there. Okay, sometimes kids like to say, oh, I have a minus sign, let's change it to plus, and then the second number to this opposite. And you definitely can do that. But I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to go through and just do this like a regular equation. This says y minus -7. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus, and I'm going to plus a -7. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So the reason I didn't change that minus sign up here was because I knew it was going to turn into a plus sign, and that would make it easy for me to do, because now my problem is a plus problem, an addition problem, and I know the rules for addition. So these two will be 0 because they cancel each other out, and so I have y on the left side, and over here my signs are the same, they're both negative, so I do -18 plus -7, and that will give me 25 when I add them, and the sign stays the same, -25. And that's example 2. Okay, last example I'm going to do, example 3, is z plus -32. I'm just writing exactly how they write it in the book so that you're not surprised, equals -19. So we're going to do the opposite of plus because that's how we solve problems, to get rid of that. So we're going to subtract a -32. And on this side, we're going to subtract a -32. Remember, anytime you're solving an equation, you want to do the same thing on each side. So these cancel each other out. They make 0. So I get z equals. And now I have -19 minus -32. Well, when I'm subtracting, I need to change my minus to plus and the second number to its opposite. Do not ever change the first number. Now I have -19 plus +32. My signs are different, so I subtract, and I use the sign of my bigger number. So I'm going to subtract. That gives me 13. Remember, when you're subtracting, if you need to subtract like this, put the bigger number on top because you might have to borrow. Okay, that's how I got 13. And then the bigger number is 32, so that's positive. So I just leave it positive. And that's it. That's all we're doing for lesson 4.4. So just get out there and practice some integers with these equations. Make sure that you are following all the rules for the integers. For addition, follow addition rules. Subtraction, you need to change minus to a plus and the second number to its opposite. And then you follow the addition rules. Okay? That's it for today.